It's the first day of PCL play, and there's no better way to kick things off than this matchup. Bonner-Prendie enters as the reigning, defending, undisputed PCL champions, looking to hold on to their crown. But standing in their way, St. Joe's Prep, a team ready to prove that they belong at the top. Opening day in the PCL, and it starts right now. Hawks baseball back on WSJP, second game of the season, opening day in the PCL as St. Joe's Prep plays at Rutgers Camden for the first time this year against the reigning defending champions of the PCL last season, the Bonner-Prendie Friars. For today's broadcast, I'm Ryan Sullivan, joined by Anthony Sorgi. Anthony, how we doing?
Great, Ryan. As you said, PCL opening day, one of the best days of the spring season. And when you've got a guy like Chris Graasso on the mound, a Division I commit for the Prep, you know today's going to be a good day.
Well, Sorgi, let's talk about it. Chris Graasso, arguably, him and I say Brady Guzzi, the two best two-way players in the PCL. But Graasso, he does his thing as well. Has a multitude of nasty pitches, but he can also get it done at the plate, batting .356 last year and having around a 3.5 ERA as well last season.
Yeah, just an absolute, beast on both sides. As you talked about the stats, and he can just do it all. And we're excited to see what, if you're a Hawks fan, you have to hope it's a dominant performance today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So here we go, starting things off at Rutgers Camden in a few minutes early, actually. We're supposed to get started here at 4. Sorgi was like, we got to go live. And I was like, all right, well, let's hold on here. And then they were getting on the field. I'm like, all right, let's just get on the air. But nonetheless, we are back here. WSJP, first time broadcasting at Rutgers Camden. St. Joe's Prep, first time playing at Rutgers Camden this season. But here we go. Starting things off for the Bonner-Prendie Friars will be Jack Brown. First pitch to him. That one hit high in the air. Keenan looking for it, sees it, and he makes the catch for the first out.
Great start there from the Prep. Keenan with a nice play. Had a little bit of trouble locating it at first. Those pop flies behind the plate are always going to be a little bit tough, but a very solid play by the Prep's third baseman.
A great start for St. Joe's Prep and Chris Graasso, trying to get into hitting as quick as possible. Well, here we go. Second pitch of the day, one out for the Hawks. Graasso drops one in there for a strike, and batting now for Bonner is Friel. He did not have a hit against Germantown Academy, but the Frederick Community College commit looks to get the first one done as he does get hit, but he swung at the pitch, so that is going to be a strike.
Very odd, Ryan.
Very odd start indeed for Friel at the plate, but Chris Graasso will take it.
How about the Prep student section today?
Yeah,
the lacrosse team showing out.
Not a bad student section to start. You love to see it for this, especially for these baseball games. Hawks looking to be one of the prime contenders in PCL play. And obviously Bonner, the champions, got to take them down. But here's the 0-2. That one, a swing and a miss. Chris Graasso gets his first strikeout of the game.
And a quick 2-out start here for the Prep. Graasso showing his ability to dominate early. Expect to see a lot of that throughout the day.
Here we go. Graasso to bat. Go up against his third batter of the inning with 2 outs. First pitch on the outside. 1-0. And it's now Danny Buckton, the DeSales commit, batting third here. Actually, I apologize. Gavin DeRita, the 8 and the 0, Sorgi. Killing me here, but here's the 1-0. In there for a strike. But yeah, DeRita up here third, and he had 2 hits against Germantown Academy just a couple of days ago. And in that game, Bonner, they fell 8-0 to a Germantown team that the Hawks will see later in the season.
April 11th.
Yep. Next pitch a bit low, 2-1.
The Prep with a great schedule this year between the PCL, obviously, which is a solid league, and then you look at the out-of-conference schedule as well.
Yeah, a lot of great out-of-conference teams. Talk about that as the season progresses. The 2-1 to Dorita hit to second. Play is made for the out. Alex Arespi getting the start at second base, and he makes the play on the run. The Prep go 1, 2, 3 as they will go to the bottom of the first. Sorgi, I mean, we talked a lot in the game against Haverford. We were on the air for that game. How, the Prep, they did a great job with pitching. Danny Matthews, he did really great. But then, after the first inning, the hitting just wasn't up to par.
Yeah, we'll see what the Prep can do here today. A little bit of a different setting. You've got the wind blowing here off the river at Rutgers Camden. A much different setting, much different opponent in the Friars of Bonner-Prendie. So it's going to be extremely intriguing today to see how everything ends up going for the Prep offense. But if, again, you're a Hawks fan, you have to hope that they can get hot early.
And you hit it all right there on the head, Sorgi, as Buckton will now take the mound for the Friars today. So he's playing, obviously, two ways. And we'll see how the Hawks go against a lefty pitcher. It's going to be interesting to see. No Johnny Sittler in this game for St. Joe's Prep, so we will see. Will Lesovitz, once again, at shortstop, had that experience as Sittler was ejected in that game. But we will now see how the Hawks deal with Bonner-Prendie and their pitching after a very solid start for Chris Graasso and the Hawks. Chris Graasso was the one to pitch last year against Bonner, pretty much in the middle of the season. As it looks like the lineup here will be Iana Cone, Veza, and Chris Graasso, similar to what we saw in the first game against the Haverford School. So not many lineup changes here today for St. Joseph's Prep. But the Prep, as we said, not that many hits in the first game. We'll see how they fare here today. But Iannacone stepping up. He did not have a hit against Haverford in 3 at-bats. But obviously he's been leading off for the Prep over the past couple of seasons, so expect him to get on base a few times. Also one of the most walked players in the PCL. I think that's definitely something to note of. Should get the throwdown in just a few moments. And here it is. The Bonner bench, they are ready to roll. You can hear them.
Yes, they are. And you mentioned Johnny Sittler. He just gave your shortstop, Will Lesovitz, a fist bump. He is literally standing on the other side of the net as close as he can to his Prep brothers today.
As I fix the stat sheet, we're getting ready to roll.
Bonner's getting the pitch com fixed up.
Yeah, gotta get it all fixed. Gotta get it ready to roll.
The earpiece going in.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either.
Especially in the PCL. Bonner, I mean, they gotta
reigning champs for a reason.
Yeah, gotta do everything you can to try and get a victory. Here we go. Iannacone having a good laugh with the umpire. Cole Romano behind the plate today for the Friars as the catcher. And here we go. First pitch of St. Joseph's Prep at bats, and it is on the outside and to the backstop, 1-0.
And Ryan, we were talking about it before the broadcast. Bonner baseball getting a lot of media attention recently. Kevin McGonigal, a Bonner alum, called up by the Detroit Tigers to their opening day roster just yesterday.
That's big. That is very big. Second pitch to Iannacone. That one in there for a strike. Good framing.
And I think it's big for the program, too, for them to get that attention. McGonigal was with the team over the winter. He comes from a Bonner family. So it's great for, Bonner as a school and a program to get that.
Well, you love to see it. Obviously, Bonner making their way into the ranks as, a very solid baseball program around the country as Iannacone fouls that one off, 1-2.
And, I mean, just even as an athletic program, when you talk about the top schools in the PCL right now, Bonner's contender in 4A and football, great baseball program. Basketball just won a state title. I mean, all around, under the leadership of Mr. Devaney there in Drexel Hill, they've done a great job.
They definitely have. Here's the 1-2 to Iannacone as he takes that one high for a ball, 2-2.
It's going to be a key 2-2 pitch here. Iannacone looking for, obviously, to get on base here to start it off for the Hawks.
very on the inside of the batter's box for Iannico. And here it is as he hits this one into right center field, and that is going to drop for a base hit. It will go through the gap. Iannico rounding first. He's on his way to second, and he will slide in there with a double.
Great double there from Iannico. That's the start you need if you're the Prep. Energy high. The bench is loving it. That is exactly what you needed.
I think you just needed to see that out of the Prep, because you remember the last game. The first inning was the inning for the Prep, really, as they were getting all the hits there, as Kyle Allman will be a complimentary runner for Iannicone. But, you know, you saw the hits in the first inning, but not much after that. So I feel like now for St. Joe's Prep, getting early runs is definitely going to be key.
No doubt.
Pat Veza now up for St. Joe's Prep. Veza playing in right field, had a hit against Haverford in the first game. He takes the first one low in on the outside. Romano had to scoop it up behind the plate to prevent Allman from stealing.
In a very windy day.
Yeah, it's knocking everything all over the place.
All of our ties here gonna have to tie this back up.
It's okay. Sorgi Jameson will take over. Mark Jameson, our cameraman here today. Here's the 1-0 to Veza, and he hits that one into left. It maybe could be a play, and it will be for the out. Now 1 out in the inning. Veza pops out as it was a foul ball, but now the guy who was just pitching a few moments ago for St. Joe's Prep, Chris Graasso. Graasso did not nail a hit against Haverford, but he will try to drive in Kyle Allman, who is on second base.
Now we're tied back up, Ryan. Got the protective netting to keep us out of the way.
I have a feeling that this is going to be a problem for most of the game.
It will be.
But here we go. First pitch to Chris Graasso as he hits that one to second hard, fielded cleanly. Play is made at first for the out. There are now 2 outs in the inning, but Allman advances to third base.
And you'll take that if you're St. Joe's Prep, right? You will take an out for 90 feet to get a guy 90 feet from home 10 times out of 10.
But now that's going to have to bring Will Ward to the plate and see if he can knock in Kyle Allman. Ward playing first base this season as he has switched with Jack Keenan, as Ward played third last season. Keenan, he played first as the pitch taken on the outside. Romano forces Allman back to third base. 1-0 count. The infield a bit back for Bonner as timeout called at the plate. Will Ward, we know, a power hitter, had a home run last season. That coming against Roman Catholic, who the Hawks will take on next Monday. Good start for Will Ward in the at-bat. We'll see if he can keep it going with the 1-0. Takes that one in there for a strike. We saw this against Haverford. Sorgi, the Prep, had bases loaded, but couldn't drive the run in. But we'll see if they can do it here, as Ward has the 1-0 currently. There's the pitch as Ward hits that one straight to second again. And the Hawks will not get that run that they were hoping for, as the inning ends with Bonner keeping the man at third base. And now we go to the top of the second inning. We'll take a short break on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Back at it on WSJP. Second inning action brought to you at Rutgers Camden. Jack Coleman up for the Friars, 0 for 4 in his last game against Germantown Academy. Chris Graasso out for his second inning of work after going 1-2-3 in the first as he delivers the first pitch. Well, could have been in there, but a good framing from Iannico and called for a ball.
Mentioned 4 at-bats. That's a lot for a 7-inning game, Ryan.
That definitely is.
Especially considering they scored 0 runs.
Yeah.
It's impressive that I guess they must have gotten a lot of people on.
Bunt being showed, but it's tipped off of the bat into Iannico's glove.
We talked at school today, and talking to some of the players, they said, watch for bunts. It's going to be a whole lot of that today from Bonner, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
They did their research. They did their film. Love to see it. Here's the 1-1 from Graasso. Drops it in there. Another strike from him, 1-2. Chris Graasso trying to get his second strikeout of the game. Had one in the first inning. Also delivered a pop-out and a ground out. See how if he can possibly deliver his first out of the inning. And the next pitch will be very high. Chris Graasso saying, my bad, my bad. 2-2 coming, though.
Oh, it was scary, moving up and in.
It was very scary. I was about to hit him in the head. That was very lucky, though.
That's why we have helmets.
That is. Graasso going to try it again. And he will not succeed in the strikeout. That one looked good, but the umpire.
Feels like a small zone today.
3-2, full count.
That's the beauty of baseball, though, right?
Yeah, that is.
Umpire's discretion.
Yeah.
We're seeing it go away in the MLB with the ABS system a little bit.
First full count of the game. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Chris Graasso, second strikeout of the game.
What a start for Graasso. He can do it on both sides. There's no doubt about that.
And he has had a good start when it comes to pitching the ball.
Now you're back.
First pitch outside for a ball from Graasso as next one will be in there for a strike. And this is Owen Lockhart at the plate for the Friars. 2 hits against Germantown Academy just a couple of days ago. Next pitch from the Miami man is in there again. Another one. He is dropping them in there. 1-2.
Great start for Graasso here.
See if he can get his second strikeout of the inning. He will not be able to on that one. 2-2. He got a bit of a not frustrated expression on his face, but he thought, man, maybe I should have had that one. Likes the call from Iannico. Graasso has that one hit back, and that scared me a little bit.
Good news is we have the netting.
That is very good news. We'll try the 2-2 again. The guys today, they're really in on the batter's box. You see that?
They are, yeah.
I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, but here's the 2-2 from Chris. Dropped by Iannico.
Oh, so close.
Also close indeed, as there's another full count. Second full count of this inning for Chris Graasso. We'll see if he can get the call to go his way once again. Doesn't like the first 2 pitches from Iannico and likes the third. And here it is. Takes it, ball 4. Lockhart gets on base with a walk. Good eyes from him as Bonner get their first man on today.
And Graasso's location so far has not been all that bad, Ryan. But, just trying to thread the needle, getting in the strike zone here.
First walk of the game for Graasso. Moves on to the next batter as this first one fouled back. Romano now at the plate. Romano had a walk against Germantown Academy, but did not have a hit in that game. 1-0 from, or 0-1, I apologize, from Graasso off the foul tip. Looking back, Lockhart at first twice, and here it is. Pitch a bit high, good framing from Iannico, and umpire not going to give him the call. Student section kind of filling out here a little bit.
Yeah.
Love to see it. They might need to get another, I don't know what they call this, the benches, whatever. Bleachers.
Bleachers, yeah.
Bleachers.
That's
I
a set of bleachers.
don't know what I'm talking about.
Try to think of that. I was trying to think of it in my head.
1-1, bunt being shown, and this is a good bunt. Graasso fields it. Gonna have to make a quick play to first, and he did not get it there. Bonner now 2 on with 1 out.
When we talk about small ball, Ryan, we see teams do it in the MLB so well. We're seeing it here at the high school level.
Sean Erickson now up for Bonner. 2 hits against Germantown Academy. Complimentary runner for the Friars. It will be Rawlings, who is the complimentary runner. Now a man in scoring position for the first time today for Bonner as we move on from that chaos.
Chaos to say the least. A lot
Indeed.
going on the base pass.
Erickson, as I mentioned, up. Graasso looking back, man at second. Twice, actually. First pitch dropped by Iannico, and everyone will hold it at their bases. 2 bunt attempts, actually 3 bunt attempts today from Bonner. That was the first successful one, as it was for good reason, as they now get 2 on with 1 out.
Saw the train roll by a minute ago.
Yeah, this is a good location. You get some good views here. Albarano on deck for the Friars.
Most scenic ballpark, I think, in the valley.
It's very nice. Even if you just look at the field in itself.
Yeah.
1-0 from Graasso. This one is hit up the first baseline. Foul.
We were talking about, though, how, like, deep the fences are. I mean, 330 down the corners is MLB, and then, like, 378 left center, 343 right center.
It's pretty much the same thing here.
Yeah. It is an MLB, you know, level field.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's talked about as one of the top fields in college baseball, view-wise.
It is really nice. I mean, you look at the view. There's a reason that they held the PCL championship here last year, as Bonner won that over Archbishop Ryan. Graasso waiting a moment as he delivers and puts it in there for a strike. Graasso has 1 out in the inning. It's 1-2. A strikeout here would be crucial to try and end the inning. Waves off Iannico once. Likes the second pitch. Once again, looks back Lockhart at second. As Graasso will have this one hit right to him. Doesn't make the play at second, as this will go into the outfield. Oresby holds it as Bonner will score.
Not the start you want here for St. Joe's Prep. Letting a man home is just not what you wanted at all. Crucial mistake there by the Hawks.
Crucial mistake indeed, Sorgi. I believe that would be an error called against St. Joe's Prep. I'm not sure how the umpires score it, but it's an error in my book at least.
I'd agree with that.
Alvarado now up, still 2 on, 1 out, as Bonner have taken the lead here early at Rutgers Camden. First pitch, very inside, 1-0.
That was very, very inside. That was another scare, you might say.
Scare indeed for St. Joe's Prep, as they will try to get back into this one when the bats come back up, but they got to get out of this inning here. Graasso looks back, runner at second twice. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch from Chris Graasso. And the Hawks, it was oh so close. You could have had that double play.
Exactly.
And I think that's just really the killer there.
For the Friars, their first run of the season.
Yeah, you love to see it for them. 1-1 from Graasso. Here it is. Swing and a miss again, 1-2. This is the position that the Prep wanted to be at. As the student section getting a little loud. There you go.
That's some heat from Graasso there.
Student section got to need them a little bit louder, I think. I don't know, but
let's see if we're going to get a 5th inning stretch from them.
You never know. Coach Muth kneeling down, awaiting the pitch. Graasso still has the 1-2. He delivers, and he strikes him out.
And
Chris,
what? God.
Chris Graasso, another strikeout for him, his third of the day, as the Hawks now have 2 outs in the inning.
And I was just going to say, Ryan, I mean, rebounding from, that type of costly error is not easy. So to see Graasso do that there is, for sure encouraging.
No doubt about it. First pitch from Graasso in there for a strike. He's trying to get out of this inning, and that is the way you want to do it. Graasso once again making sure nobody's stealing as he delivers the 1-0. And this one is hit right to him. Overhand throw to first, play made for the out. St. Joe's Prep, they give up that run, but they do get out of the inning with minimal damage. We go to the bottom of the second, and now, Sorgi, you just feel like that this has got to be the inning where you just got to hit the ball.
You need to respond if you're St. Joe's Prep. There's no doubt about that. You've got good hitters coming up to the plate. And it means that you're going to need, a solid inning here to tie it up or maybe take the lead.
He had that leadoff double, but the next 3 just could not drive Kyle Allman, who was the complimentary runner, in. As we will await who bats in the next inning for St. Joseph's Prep. Looks like Jack Keenan's getting ready to get his gloves on, get back into it. And we mentioned hitting was not what we really wanted it to be against Haverford, but the leadoff double was definitely promising. Ever since then, though, the Hawks didn't get much on base. We'll see if they can deliver in the innings to come. Keenan's getting ready to go out there. Looks like he will lead off for St. Joe's Prep.
And yeah, again, Ryan, I mean, if Keenan can get on base here, that's the start you want, but you need consistent production. You can't just have one guy try to carry the inning.
That's a very good point. Danny Matthews also his helmet on. Looks like he'll get ready to come in. Danny Matthews had that great game against the Haverford school just the other day. Pitching wise, and now the Hawks going to try and use his bat. Also, Alex Orespi coming out to bat. So that'll probably be the lineup, the 1-2-3, if you will, for St. Joe's Prep.
We were in the car with Orespi today.
We were. Cole Kuhn and got us over here, and Alex Orespi in the car with us.
I was sitting under the table.
You were sitting under the table. It's okay, though.
Yeah, we made it here okay.
We made it here all alive and well. I don't know if Jameson made it. Jameson, you make it here okay? He made it here all right.
Again, huge shout out to our cameraman, Mark Jameson, bearing through the windy, cold day with us.
We all are, even the student section, who half of them don't even have coats on. I know my mother would not like that.
You got Nick Laver wearing the blazer and tie.
I mean, you know what? Give him credit where credit is due. I think he took some inspiration from Dom Campanaro.
We all did.
We all did, yeah. But Keenan now up. Jack Keenan, the starting third baseman for the Prep. First pitch in there for a strike. Keenan had to move back a little bit, but the call is still made. Keenan, 1 hit against Haverford on Saturday. We'll see if he can get a lead off for the Hawks. Second pitch. Good eye from Keenan as he held back. Check swing. 1-1. Keenan next season going to Chestnut Hill College. Committed a couple of months ago.
Signed.
Yeah, signed as well. Signing day was a couple weeks ago. Third pitch low for a ball, 2-1. Keenan not getting really the bat off his shoulders to start. We'll see if that changes here in the next pitch. 2-1 coming.
I remember after school just walking through the commons and seeing signing day. Like, wow, guys are signing already.
This one fouled back into the fence. Or netting, if you will. Actually, never mind. It goes past the fence. There we go. Coach Stins. Yeah, Stins.
Running for it.
And he gets a round of applause.
Nick Claver, give him a shout out.
Coach Stins, shout out. 2-2 now to Keenan. And here it is. That one low. Ball 3, full count. Graasso had 2 full counts in his last inning, so we'll see now if Buckton can deliver on the 3-2.
One thing we don't have today is a working scoreboard, Ryan.
That is true. The 3-2 outside ball 4. Take your base, Jack. Keenan, the Hawks get a lead off.
Just kind of hoping we can keep track ourselves here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shout out to the people at Rutgers Camden. We got this nice stand reminiscent of what we have at Penn Park.
That
Home
is
of St.
very
Joe's
true.
Prep
It
soccer and
actually
lacrosse.
is pretty much the same thing, just with different colors.
Yeah. Gotta love feeling a little bit like home.
A
Where
little
we,
bit like home.
that stand
I
we've
like
sat
that.
in so much.
I like that. A little bit like home.
Penn's a place we spend a lot of time.
That is very true. We spent a lot of time there, especially me with lacrosse.
Yeah. Hockey's at Penn.
That is
Football.
true. Matthews with a bunt attempt, and he was able to hold back as the pitch was outside. Keenan looked like he was getting ready to run, but he does hold it at first. Good eye from him. Bonner, they were ready, though. The Hawks
They
trying to
were.
give him a taste of their own medicine.
And I mean, and by the way, St. Joe's Prep Lacrosse back on WSJP
is
on
true.
what, Tuesday?
Friday.
Friday, yeah, that's
Play
right.
Bonner. Bonner at the Croc. And Matthews getting ready to bunt again. Second pitch on the outside 2-0.
There are too many games going on, Ryan.
No, there's not. How could you say that?
I mean, I don't know how you sleep. That's the question.
I don't know. You just sleep.
8, folks. What did he say? 8 games in 9 days
I
for
think
Ryan
that is
Sullivan.
true. I mean, hey, you guys gotta be committed. Committed to the grind.
Holy Ghost Prep baseball tomorrow. Very
That is
excited.
true.
Big one.
Myself, Sam Salmon on the call. Matthews swings through that one for a strike.
Excited to get Sam on the mic.
Sam's a baseball guy. He knows what he's talking about. Hopefully he's listening in. He
Plays
me,
baseball.
He told me. He told me he was going to listen in today.
I hope so.
And, look at the coach Princehorn, who just got a big win yesterday against Archbishop Wood. He's also in the building.
17-1. Utter domination.
That was a great win for the Prep. Timeout taken by Matthews at the plate. Denny Matthews. 2-1 for Matthews. Here it is. That one low in the dirt. Romano, great stop. Had to do a few of those today. 3-1.
Let's see if Matthews can get on base here, Ryan.
Be very big for the Hawks as they would get 2 on with no outs. Knock on wood, announcer's jinx at home. 3-1 to Danny Matthews. Buckton looking back, Keenan at first twice. Here's the pitch. Matthews swings through that one and fouls it back. Matthews did not hit against the Haverford School, just pitched in that game. But now he's back up here with the bat. He looks like he was very frustrated that he swung on that one, thought it was a ball possibly. But we'll see if he can make up for it here or if Buckton can get his first out of the inning. Another full count. We had one earlier with Keenan's at bat. Big pitch incoming. No call there. They called a ball. No strikeout. Another walk for the Prep. 2 on. No outs. 2 walks.
Gotta love to see it if you're St. Joe's Prep.
My grandfather always used to say a walk is just as good as a hit.
Exactly. No doubt about it. 90 feet either way.
And also a great job from Matthews to hold back there. Looked like he was getting ready to swing, but he held back his swing. And now Alex Orespi will step up, starting at second base here today. And we'll see if he can possibly drive in a run or at least advance a runner. As he's going to show bunt as he takes that one for a strike.
You have to be selective as a hitter. There's no doubt about that.
The Hawks showing bunt a lot today, something we're not typically used to seeing.
As you said earlier, give Bonner a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, I apologize. The umpire said that Orespi went on the bunt as he will take a timeout at the plate. Coach Muth delivering a signal to the coaches on the bags.
Baseball, very much chess compared to checkers.
It definitely is. There's a lot of things that go into baseball. That's why I'm here in the booth.
You and me both.
The 0-1 to Orespi takes that one on the inside for a ball. The Hawks doing a really great job today with just selectively choosing when they decide to swing. I mean, you look at the first two, the walks here. I mean, those were both 3-2 counts, and Matthews and Keenan did a great job of just holding back and trusting their instincts that would be a ball. Here's the 1-1 to Orespi. Takes that one on the outside, 2-1.
Both benches were getting noisy there.
Yeah, got to deliver the hype, and we'll see if the student section delivers a bit of hype as well.
You got to hope the prep runs that sparks them up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. If bases loaded, it could get a bases loaded chance. That was always a big one back in Pee Wee ball.
Youth baseball, what great times.
Arespi hits that one in the air in the infield. Play is made. Not made!
Out called.
Out called. It was an infield fly rule, but it was dropped there by Dorita.
Infield fly rule, very interesting rule in baseball, very controversial.
Well, nonetheless, Will Lesovitz now steps up to the plate, starting shortstop today here for St. Joe's Prep. As we'll see if he can possibly drive in any possible runs.
Second varsity game, first varsity year for the all-Catholic player.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Should have to point that
Yeah, I
out.
was about to say basketball Catholic.
Also, first varsity start.
That's true, yeah.
First pitch to Lesovitz takes that one for a strike.
And Lessie here just trying to get into swing of momentum. I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Yeah, you got to get back into the swing of things. Obviously, basketball season was just, a couple weeks, about a month ago, actually, was when the season ended. So, got to get into the baseball swing of things. Might have to shake off the cobwebs a bit. But we'll see if he can possibly shake them off here at this at-bat. Buckton looking back, Keenan a bunch of times. Pitch very inside for a ball.
Very inside's an understatement. I mean, that was as far inside as you can get.
If Lesovitz was a little bit more in the batter's box, he would have been on first base. Could have bases loaded here, but Lesovitz with the 1-1 count now. Buckton looking back, Keenan continuously. Lesovitz takes that one down low for a ball.
You'd love to see Lesovitz get on base here.
Oh, yeah, you would
Either
love to see it.
load the bases or get a man home. If you're a St. Joe's Prep fan, that's what you want to see.
George Van Deen standing on deck for the Hawks. Buckton taking his time. Lesovitz awaiting the arrival of the next pitch. 2-1 count to him. Here it is. As Lesovitz hits that one into right field, and that will get down for a base hit. Matthews didn't really run that much. I don't think he thought it was going to be a base hit, but Will Lesovitz gets on with a single, run drived in. St. Joe's Prep have tied this game up.
Who else but Will Lesovitz to get that run for the Prep? Not the guy you'd expect to get it, considering, again, his only second varsity game and first start, but he's the guy to get the Hawks on the board.
Awkward for the Prep is Matthews. He did not think that the ball was going to drop. Even I thought that could have possibly been a catch, but it gets there to deep right field. That's a long fly ball, Sorgi. We talked about how big this field is. That's a long fly ball. Let's give a lot of credit to Will Lesovitz here as George Van Deen now steps up to the plate as the 9-hole hitter today for St. Joe's Prep. As he hits this one straight to the mound, dropped by Buckton, but he will get it over to first as he lost his glove.
But you'll take that if you're St. Joe's Prep because, I mean, you get two guys in scoring position here. But we're going to have a little bit of a pause in the action.
Both guys advanced bags, as Sorgi just said. Buckton, I think he just might be getting checked on, as that was a hard ball hit straight to him. Yeah, I think they're just going to check on him real quick. It looks like he is ready to go. Just going to take a bit of a breather, as that was a very hard hit ball by George Van Deen.
No doubt about it, Ryan. And as we have a break in the action, I will mention bottom of the third at MSI, LaSalle up 7-1 on Roman Catholic.
Big lead for the Explorers, the Hawks. They play them in, I believe it's the end of April.
I think it's that last week, April, yeah.
Yeah, April 29th, I believe, is the real date. Why I know that, I don't know. But
I was about to say,
I got to know.
April 22nd is lacrosse versus LaSalle, and April 29th, a week later, is baseball.
You're right. That's how I'm going to remember. And speaking of lacrosse, all the lacrosse guys are here. I think we've said that before, but
it looks like the whole team, essentially.
Yeah, almost. Well, anyway, Emilio Iannico now up with 2 outs in the inning. As he doubled in his first at-bat, we'll see if he can possibly drive in another run and get the Hawks the lead. First run of the season, though, for St. Joe's Prep.
Absolutely great to have that out of the way.
Buckton back in there after the scare, as Matthews will hold it at third with a low pitch in the dirt. Romano, give him credit where credit is due. He has been doing a great job of stopping the ball today.
No doubt about it.
Matthews was ready to steal home. but unfortunately for him, Romano's making nice plays at the plate.
Big lead there at second.
Yeah, Lesovitz has a big lead indeed. Ball outside, 2-0.
I mean, that was a huge lead. He was almost halfway to third.
Yeah. Well, nobody's really playing there.
Yeah.
Both shortstop and second baseman for Bonner. That's Brown and Coleman, I believe.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-0 to Iannacone as he hits that one to short. Fielded cleanly. No, it's not actually. As Iannacone will get in there. As the Hawks score the second run of the game, Danny Matthews in for St. Joe's Prep. I'm not sure. I guess that's going to count as a base hit. I mean, because he didn't really make an error, so I think that I'm going to count it as a base hit.
It was like kind of an error. Like he dropped. Like he like had
But he
it.
still made it over to first. You know
yeah,
what?
that's odd.
In St. Joe's Prep book, we're calling it a hit. Danny Matthews in to score. Man at third. Allman back out there as a complimentary runner. Every time I think it's fielded cleanly, I think they just got something against me here. They want to make me look bad, Sorgi. They want to make me look bad. But Allman at first base now. Lesovitz at third. Runners on the corners for St. Joe's Prep. Patty Vezza now up for the Hawks. 0 for 1 here today. First pitch to him. Drops in there for a strike. Beautiful pitch from Buckton.
Didn't expect maybe 5 minutes ago to see the Prep fully batting around the order, and now onto the second man of the order. But the Hawks here with a great run.
Buckton making Vezza wait at the plate. As he gets that one in there for a strike. Debatable.
So that one barely in there.
Barely in the zone. Great frame from Romano, and could make the argument. He's been the MVP so far this game, as he's prevented a lot of possible stolen bases, especially that one from Matthews at home a couple of moments ago. Next pitch to Vezza. There's a steal to second, but the ball was fouled off. I believe Vezza, he had to swing that one. That one was right down the plate. Kyle Allman, he was halfway through the base path by the time it got to the plate, so that could have been a successful stolen base for him, but unfortunately, it was a foul ball as Vezza not in the best space here. Does have 2 strikes on him. As he will take that one on the outside for a ball. Allman, though, successfully stealing to second. Both runners in scoring position.
Both runners in scoring position, Ryan, are two-sport athletes, and I think that's part of why they have so much speed, because if you're going to play 2 sports at the Prep, Allman playing for Coach Roken, Lesovitz playing for Coach Clark, and then playing for Coach Muth with the baseball team, you have to be speedy and you have to be well-conditioned.
Next pitch to Vezza as he hits that one to second base. It is fielded cleanly this go-around, and the play is made to end the inning. St. Joe's Prep, though, have taken the lead 2-1 over Bonner-Prendie. We'll see how the Friars respond as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Short break on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Top of the order for Bonner-Prendie as Jack Brown takes the plate 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Graasso went 1-2-3 to start the top of the first inning. We'll see how he fares the second time through the order. First pitch, not in there for a strike. That one looked good, but it's 1-0. Graasso delivering a similar pitch to most of the ones he's been throwing. Kind of that just curves right in there. This one, though, hit to short. Lesovitz had to get it on a hop. He makes the play at first to get the first out of the inning.
That one was close, Ryan.
It bounced right up to him off the grass, and he had to get on that hop right there. Beautiful play from Will Lesovitz, though.
I was holding my breath there for a moment.
Yeah, that was close. But Ryan Friel now up 0 for 1 in his first at-bat as Brown jogs back to the dugout for the Friars. Friel, one of the best overall hitters in the PCL, last season set the single-season base hit record for Bonner. First pitch he takes for a strike. And that's something that's a big note. I mean, all-time base hits for a team that just had somebody called up to the major leagues on a contending team for the World Series. I mean, that's something notable. 1-1. He swings through that one for a strike. What a pitch from Chris Graasso.
Absolutely nasty. But
That was.
as you mentioned, I mean, Tigers, not a bad program by any means.
No, not at all.
Or not program, team. I'm thinking high school here.
Yeah. Graasso doesn't like the first call from Iannicone. He likes the second. As this next pitch, just on the outside. Solid framing from Iannicone, and Graasso laughing it off with him.
MLB opening night tonight. Got the Yankees and the Giants, and then
I
full
don't,
slate
I
tomorrow.
don't know why I keep thinking today is the Phillies. I don't know. I'm all out of whack.
March Madness this weekend. I mean, this is just a great time for sports.
Graasso can't put it in there for the strikeout, but it's bounced to Keenan's going to have to make a quick play to first, and Friel's going to get in there safely.
Unfortunate there for the Prep.
Another infield hit for Bonner. They've had 2 infield hits today, as Romano did have that bunt hit. But as the Friars now get a man on with 1 out, that will bring Gavin DeRita up for the next at-bat. Hawks infield playing solid today so far, but that was just a very high ball. Very hard play to make on any level. DeRita, as I mentioned, 0 for 1. See if he can make a play and possibly move Friel around the bases. First pitch, that one is going to go behind Iannicone. Wild pitch. Friel in the second. Now a man in scoring position.
And a prime opportunity for Bonner to tie this one up.
Both teams exchanging a couple of runs. Well, the Hawks getting a couple of runs last inning. Bonner getting one of their own at the top of the second. Graasso looks back Friel at second a couple times as this one is hit. Again to Lesovitz. Has to jump to get it. Play to first, not made, too short. Runners on the corners now for the Friars.
And that one just wasn't going to go Lesovitz's way, the way that one jumped on him.
He's had some unlucky ones today. So another bit infield hit for the Friars, as that will bring Coleman up.
Baseball's a game of luck, Ryan.
It definitely is. I mean, Lesovitz has just gotten a couple of hard ones out there, and it's unfortunate for him, but Prep are going to have to keep on moving, as now there is a man on second base with just 1 out in the inning. Coleman will take the first pitch for a strike. Now the student section's getting a bit loud. Love to see it. You need that
Absolutely.
energy.
Yeah, you do need that energy. I mean, you hope on like a 2-2, 3-2 pitch, you're going to hear them get loud.
Hopefully Graasso can get there. 0-1 in the count. Foley looks back.
You'd like an
Back
0-2
to Rhea.
pitch.
Throw to first, drop by Ward. Friel holds it at third. You would love an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah.
That's probably the best case scenario, but I don't know. Bonner today, they've been also selective. We gave the Prep a lot of credit for how selective they were in their first few at-bats, especially with Matthews and Keenan. Bonner doing the same thing as well.
No doubt.
0-1, steal to second as Coleman hits this one foul.
And there's that 0-2 we wanted.
Yeah, you did want it.
And, I mean, if you can get a double play ball here.
DeRita moving back to first. Even a strikeout would be great, too. You get that second out.
Yeah.
Nothing. Any out would not let the runner be safe at the plate.
Yeah, you need a very lucky turn of events to get a double play with home.
Strike 3 called. Got him swinging. Chris Graasso, another strikeout for him. That's his 4th of the day. And that is Coleman's 2nd time down on strikes. Owen Lockhart now up as he reached on an error in his first at-bat. Actually, I apologize. He walked in his first at-bat. But now with 2 outs, we'll see if he could possibly drive in. Friel on third to tie this game up.
2 outs, 2 on. This is as high pressure as it gets.
Graasso steps off the bag. They do not want Dorita stealing at all. They don't want 2 men in scoring position. Don't think they're too happy with 1. Graasso waiting on it. He delivers right down the plate.
Great start to the at-bat here for Graasso.
0-1 to Lockhart. He just took that one for a strike.
Gotta give Bonner some credit, Ryan. I'm looking at their bench. The varsity jackets, the green ones.
They're solid. Dorita is stealing. Down to second. Dorita is safe.
2 strikes up.
Friel also holds it at third, but that is true, Sorgi. 0-2. The continuous debate. Do you give him a good one? I don't know in this situation. It's going to be hard to maybe give a good pitch to Lockhart.
Can you make him chase?
2 runners in scoring position. 0-2. Graasso trying to get his way out of the inning. And he is able to. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Lockhart down on strikes. We go to the bottom of the 3rd.
What an inning from Chris Graasso. Absolutely sensational from the junior.
That's 5 Ks on the day for the Miami commit. And the Hawks still lead 2-1. You feel like now Sorgi has got to be the inning where the Prep maybe start to break this one open.
You love to see it if you're a Hawks fan. There's no doubt about that, Ryan. We'll see how things play out. But on the other side, if you're Bonner, you really can't afford to give up much here.
Definitely not. Lockhart back out there for his 3rd inning of work. St. Joe's Prep up 2-1 over the Friars. And I believe Graasso will be leading off for the Hawks. Yes, he will be.
There he is, coming out of the dugout. Had to switch off the gear.
Yeah.
Student section giving Graasso some love.
Graasso yet to get a hit this season, though, as he did bat .356 last year in the regular season. Being put at that 3rd hole slot, where his brother primarily batted last season as well, Robbie Graasso, who's now at Lehigh, playing baseball over there. Maybe we'll get a Robbie Graasso appearance one of these days.
That'd be
Hopefully
great.
he's tuning in.
Yeah, I'm confused. So, one of the Bonner coaches is mic'd up,
Oh, they're probably communicating to the field or something.
I guess.
I've never seen that in high school.
I didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know that was like. Do we think the PIA has rules on that? Like that is.
Well, if they're doing it, I doubt it.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be something that sounds like something we're gonna be having to dig into, the PIA rules.
We'll be opening
Figure
that
all
rule
that.
book.
Yeah, no doubt.
I wonder when the last time that was opened. First pitch to Graasso as he swings through that one for a strike. Very frustrated on that one.
If anyone at the PIA is listening, it would be greatly appreciated if they put their start dates of sports out publicly.
Send that to @SJP Broadcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow as well.
Couldn't find that for baseball and lacrosse, trying to figure out when the scrimmages end and the games begin.
That's fair. Graasso takes this next pitch low, 1-1. That's all right though. We know what we're doing.
Now we do. Now the season started, we got PCL play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it. This is a great start to this game. It's been back and forth thus far. See if Chris Graasso can lead off for the Hawks. As he will swing through that one again, 1-2. Good 2 pitches, though, from Buckton.
I could be wrong, but I don't think the Prep had any scrimmages, right?
No, I don't believe so.
They had spring training down in Florida, got some good inter-squad practice down there, and then came back and got right into the season while some other PCL teams were, staying home playing scrimmages.
The 1-2, it looked like it hit Graasso. Yes, it did. Graasso gets on with a hit by pitch. Will Ward now up.
What'd you get out of a 1-2 count?
2 straight innings, the Hawks get on with something that was not a hit, which
Yeah.
as I think we can say it again, Sorgi. A walk or a hit by pitch just as good as a hit.
Again, it's small ball.
Yep.
Playing Bonner's game. The best teams in sports beat their opponents at their opponent's game, and that's what the Prep's doing here.
Buckton with 2 walks today, and just most recently the hit by pitch on Graasso is Will Ward, who is 0 for 1 today, will step up to the plate. See if he can move Graasso around the bases. Graasso, while also being a pitcher, hitter, he's fast around those bases as well. Ward takes that one for a strike as it beautifully dropped in there.
And we've been talking a lot about the Prep, but Bonner, no slouch so far. The pitching has been for sure solid from the Friars.
Buckton once again looking Graasso back. He's making sure he won't steal, as he can't find the zone on that one. 1-1. And the selection again, Sorgi, we talked about it. We've talked about it continuously, but the selection from the Hawks today have been great. Obviously, Graasso staying calm a couple of times in the box. And now Will Ward took that one on the outside. That one close there as well, but Will Ward stays in the box as it's 2-1.
Yeah, he was very close to being hit. If he just would have stood in there,
Will Ward's a big guy, too. He's tall. 2-1. Buckton delivers. In there for a strike. And the crowd did not like that one at all. 2-2.
Controversial call.
Yeah, the St. Joe's Prep side did not like it. No arguments, though, from the Prendie side. Or the Friar side, I apologize.
Bonner's called all sorts of names.
Yeah, it's hard over there.
Since they merged in, I think, 2012.
Ward hits that one to second. Double play opportunity. Play it made at second, but Ward is in there safely at first, so Ward gets on with a fielder's choice.
Makes my life easy. Just keep the guy at first base on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Jack Keenan now up, walked in his first at-bat.
But yeah, Bonner obviously being Monsignor Bonner, and then Archbishop Pendergast right next door until 2012 when the two schools merged. Now that that old building there on the campus sold off to Delco Community College.
It's a nice It's a nice campus they got
It is.
over there.
It's
We've
a very
been there,
nice campus.
Went there last year for baseball. Went there this year for football.
Great football field. Great, nice basketball gym. Underrated gym.
Yeah. Keenan takes his first pitch high. Basketball, you were there last year. I wasn't there.
I was, yeah. That was a fun night. Bonner had a good student section. The Prep narrowly surviving one of those Ellerby Chamberlain cardiac specials.
Those guys off at college right now.
Temple and well, not FGCU anymore for Ellerby.
Yeah, he's currently entering the transfer portal. Throwback to first. Ward slides in safely.
Would love to see Ellerby end up in the SEC or Big
maybe,
East.
Yeah, we'll see where he ends up. But Jack Keenan trying to drive Will Ward around the bases. Has the 1-0 count. Keenan very selective at the plate today. See if he can possibly get on once again. Second pitch. In there for a strike again. Keenan kind of had to move out of the batter's box. He does not like the call. But he's going to have to step back in there as it's 1-1.
And with how much we hear about PCL basketball, I think that you got to consider baseball is underrated, Ryan.
It is
I mean,
very
when
underrated.
you look at Guzzy, Virginia, and then Coon and Graasso each going to the ACC as well, I mean, like, the talent in this league is extremely solid.
There is no doubt about it. A lot of underrated players as well, especially on the Hawks.
Yeah.
Keenan swings through that one, 1-2.
And everything in the PCL overlaps, right? I mean, basketball was starting as football was ending, and you had, now basketball ending, Bonner winning a state championship Friday night, and then guys are on the field Saturday not Saturday, but recently for baseball, prep baseball out there on Saturday, of course. But when they're still talking about states and the PCL championships, don't hear enough about how great of a baseball league this is.
I can't say it any better myself. I'm just going to say that Keenan took the ball for a ball, and it's now 2-2.
Even up the count here.
Very intense so far. It's only the third inning.
Very intense.
2-2. Keenan takes that one on the inside, full count.
You could hear a pin drop between pitches.
Yeah, I feel like I have to keep the intensity by not saying anything. Got to do my job as a commentator sometimes. Full count, though, once again. We've seen a few times Buckton has had a full count against batters. Most recently against Keenan in his first at-bat. Three-two. In there again, ball four. Take your base, Jack. Keenan, second walk of the day for him, as that is the third walk overall today for Buckton.
2 men on for St. Joe's Prep. Prime opportunity here for the Hawks.
Mound visit for the Friars. We'll see if that ends Buckton's day.
I don't see a guy coming out of the pen.
It looks like it'll just be a mound visit.
Maybe no. Let's see. I can't tell what's going on.
I think they might just be warming somebody up.
Yeah, it looks like it. I do find it funny, though. I saw some of the Bonner families hearing the noise of the train, looking around to see what it was.
I mean, there are some times where I don't even believe the train's coming. I mean, it happens at Penn Park.
All the time at
Well,
Penn.
to be fair, I'm used to it because, like,
Yeah.
it's at Penn and then here as well. So, you know, they just, I'm just used to it.
First broadcast here, though.
That is very true. That is true. And, I mean, honestly, this is one of the best spots I think we've ever really been at.
No doubt.
I love it here. Shout out Rutgers Camden. We're supposed to be at FDR, but rain prevented that from taking place.
The Prep and LaSalle are supposed to play side by side,
That's
same time,
crazy.
same place.
Well, we will be back at FDR next Wednesday as the Hawks take on Father Judge.
Let's hope rain doesn't get in the way of that.
Yeah. Danny Matthews up, I apologize. He walked in his first at-bat. Another walk would load the bases. First pitch to Matthews, takes that one for a strike. Good framing by Romano.
No doubt.
He's had a great game thus far. Alex Orespi on deck for the Hawks. Will Lesovitz in the hole. Lesovitz had that double earlier, which broke open this game and tied things up for the Prep. Bunt being shown by Matthews as he'll foul that one back. It's 0-2.
So close there. Just, I mean, if it hits just that bit closer, Ryan,
We
could
got
have the bases loaded.
possibly. Danny Matthews has shown bunt a couple times. Has not succeeded in that. But we'll see if he can maybe knock this one for a hit or get on in some way, shape, or form. But he's going to have to dig out of this hole that he is now in, as it's 0-2. Buckton will get a very high leverage out if he's able to put this one in there for a strike. We'll see if he can do so, and he will not there. That one is 1-2. That looked good as it slowly dropped in there, but it's called for a ball.
A lot of close pitches on both sides tonight.
As I mentioned, Matthews, he did not hit against the Haverford school. Last go around, timeout called by Romano. Will be a short mound visit. As I mentioned, Alex Orespi getting ready to at-bat. Take his second at-bat, I guess I should say. Danny Matthews. I had a solid story on him on the PSL Sports Network.
No doubt.
And I'll also be on the soon-to-be, never mind, website maybe. I guess I should say. I guess I can say. I can talk about some things.
And big shout out in the student section to the Pride of Ridley, Chris Ryan.
6 goals yesterday. As Buckton drops that one in there for a strike. And Matthews goes down on strikes.
I checked my phone and Chris Ryan's spamming me asking for a shout out on the broadcast, so got to give it to the fellow Ridley native.
First strikeout of the day for Buckton as Alex Orespi steps up. The student section, they love the shout out.
I think they're watching live.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I would listen to my commentary too.
So humble, Ryan.
I know.
True Prep guy.
Yeah. Orespi, though, he steps up as the 7-hole hitter. Went 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. See if he can possibly drive in Ward, who is on second man in scoring position again for St. Joe's Prep. We've been in this story before. First pitch to Orespi. He swings and hits that one to third. And it's going to be missed at third base. Ward will come in to score. Play at third. Not made. Keenan in there safely. St. Joe's Prep have taken a 3-1 lead.
There you go. 3 runs in 3 innings. Could not be happier if you're a Hawks fan today. In the student section, absolutely loving it. Moving their way up to the netting here at Rutgers Camden. I see a lot of guys here in the student section who are native to areas around Bonner. Obviously, some connections with the two teams, and guys on the the prep student section and prep team knowing Bonner guys who are on the field for the Friars today.
So Arespi gets in there in the second. I believe we're going to count that as a base hit. Once again, just kind of going based off the top of the dome. First pitch way on the outside, 1-0. Lesevitz shaking his head at the plate. So now both runners in scoring position for St. Joe's Prep. As Lesevitz, he knocked in an RBI single to get the Hawks their first run of the game. Now we'll see if he can possibly add their fourth and fifth. Hawks now with an insurance run with their third. George Van Deen on deck for the Hawks, if he can possibly get up in this inning. Next pitch, way inside, 2-0. Lesevitz telling all runners to hold it, specifically Keenan at third.
Lesevitz coming in for to the game for the Prep, but showing some level of senior presence and leadership.
That's what you love to see. Just joining the team again this season, takes the time out at the plate. Not going to let Buckton decide when he takes this pitch.
Yeah, not going to let him rush him.
Anticipation for these next couple of pitches as it is 1-0 to Lesevitz. I apologize, 2-0 to Lesevitz. And he takes that one on the inside again, 3-0 for Will.
So Will Lesevitz swing, not sling.
We'll see if Buckton puts this one down the plate, or if he'll give Lesevitz something good to hit.
And if you see a good pitch coming,
I don't know. I always say don't swing at a 3-0.
I think it's a very situational thing.
It's gotta be. 3-0 though to Lesevitz. Takes that one low, ball four. Take your base, Will. Lesevitz, George Van Deen now up with bases loaded.
And that's why I say don't swing recklessly, is I think the best way to put it. But yeah, Van Deen here with a good opportunity for the Hawks.
George Van Deen 0 for 1 in his first at-bat, but now 4 walks on the day for Buckton. GVD. I like that one. That's a good nickname. Bases now loaded. George Van Deen in the 9-hole slot. Can he possibly drive in a run or two? Mark Jameson, not just a cameraman, also making sure that the covering does not hit us. First pitch, inside, ball 1. Hawks, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, very, very selective in what they decide to swing at today. Lesevitz not even getting the bat off his shoulders as he is now on first base. Train passing by, 1-0 to Van Deen. Right down the middle for a strike. Buckton, first strike in 5 pitches.
And a big strike at that.
Big strike indeed. Needed to get back into the swing of things here, get the momentum back on his side. One. Buckton takes his time, delivers, and it's on the outside, 2-1.
And if you're Van Deen, I mean, there's no better opportunity to get runners across than this.
Van Deen with the lead in the count, 2-1. As you said earlier, George, you could hear a pin drop at Rutgers Camden. Van Deen fouls that one back as that was a missile to the front of the plate. 2-2 now. Buckton trying to get out of this predicament.
That's St. Joe's Prep vocabulary right there.
That is right there. Shout out English department. Shout out Mr. Burns, moderator of WSJP.
Burns.
Tied for the best moderator in WSJP, and there's only 3 of them.
And they're all English teachers.
And they're all English teachers. That's right.
Mr. Abington, English teacher, as well as Director of Communications, and then Mr. Sacco.
Yeah, Mr. Saka.
Back at the Prep.
Yeah, love to see it. 2-2. Van Deen, as I mentioned, trying to get these runners in would be so key for the Prep to their momentum. High leverage pitch. It's now a full count. And now you're really going to be able to hear a pin drop here.
2 out, bases loaded, 3-2 count.
Student section on their feet.
They have been all game, though.
They have been. Now at the fence, awaiting the arrival of the pitch, and so is everyone that is watching this game. Van Deen out of the batter's box momentarily, as I feel like I was also to maybe get your mind right, but I also feel like it adds to the drama.
No doubt. And I mean, the student section, I think they've just realized, Ryan, that it's warmer to stay standing than sitting down.
Well, we're currently sitting.
Guys are smart. Yeah, well, we need to relax
That's
a little
fair.
bit.
We
Gotta
you know.
breathe.
That's fair.
Nice day at the ballpark.
Full count to Van Deen as he fouls that one back. It did go into fair play, but it was fouled first. So
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Great song by the Bee Gees.
That is a very good song.
I love the, you know, when I get MLB games and they play that between pitches.
Do they do that at the Phillies? I've never.
I don't think they do at the bank now.
I never heard that. I was gonna say.
So at some of the parks I've been to, they have.
Full count again. Van Deen fouls it back once again.
Iannacone there getting the ball. Man forward with others.
Feels like Van Deen is not just going to let this one go by him without swinging.
No, he's not. Going to be smart about it, though.
Indeed.
Don't want to swing at some high cheese.
Not even a little bit. Full count for the third time. As Van Deen hits this one to third. Slow play to make the out. The Hawks leave bases loaded, but they are up 3-1 over Bonner-Prendie. We will take a quick break on WSJP, and we'll be back in a few moments. Fourth inning of work here on WSJP. Chris Graasso back at the mound for St. Joe's Prep as he will take on Cole Romano to start things off, who is 1 for 1 with a bunt single in his first at-bat. Graasso waves off Iannacone to start this inning as he puts that one low, ball 1. Graasso saying it's on me, on me.
I see a radar gun below us. We need one of those for ourselves.
We do, but they're expensive.
They are. If anyone wants to donate a radar gun.
According to AJ, you donated to his personal Venmo. Graasso, though, drops that one back in there for a strike. According to our league color hockey analyst.
And basketball.
AJ Farrington, you donate to his personal Venmo account. I don't know if that's still the case. 1-1 to Romano. Graasso gets him to swing through that one, 1-2.
What a pitch, making him chase.
Nasty from Chris Graasso. Graasso trying to get through this inning quickly, get the hot bats of St. Joe's Prep back up. The 1-2. Drops it in there. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Chris Graasso, 6 strikeouts.
Leaves the batter, I mean, just, oh, and the Bonner coach is not too happy.
Not happy at all. Third base coach of the Friars. Not happy at all about that.
But Romano there was
pitch.
just left in shock.
Yeah, he was very surprised about that one, but nonetheless, that will bring up Sean Erickson. Erickson got on with an error in his first at-bat. As Graasso right back to it, and he gets him to foul this one back.
Erickson's a common baseball name. I feel like there have been some MLB guys. I remember one, Coach Matt Erickson. He was a minor league manager. 2010s for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
I have no idea. Second pitch. Erickson actually now called for a strike. Home plate umpire said it was a ball, but the first base umpire said it was a strike, so it's 0-2. Graasso trying to put down Erickson on strikes. He did to Romano. That one on the outside of Anico, and thought that was a strike, but it's 1-2. Graasso just saying, that's all right. Moving on to the next. Love the mentality. Graasso, who has 6 strikeouts today, now has 7. Got Erickson looking. 2 straight strikeouts.
I mean, he's making it look easy, Ryan.
I yelled and everybody looked at me. Now I feel embarrassed. It's okay. No, I don't.
You're doing your job.
Yeah, I got to do my job. Erickson down on strikes for the second time today. I'm sorry, for the first time today. First pitch, beautiful. Got him swinging. It is Eric. Second pitch from Graasso. He gets him to swing again. 0-2, Chris Graasso trying to strike out the side here. Chris Graasso to end the inning. And he will! Got him looking! Chris Graasso strikes out the side.
As easy as 1, 2, 3, Ryan.
Wow, what a inning for Chris Graasso. I can't believe it. Actually, I can, but
Again, sensational.
that was incredible.
There's no other way to describe it other than sensational.
8 now on the day.
Dominant.
Oh my, dominant is a complete understatement. Pitching change, though, on the mound for the Friars. Jack Coleman, who is playing in the field today, will now move into the pitcher spot.
See Coach Stin's working his way to the front of the student section now.
Yeah, I mean, they might need to be calmed down after that inning. Bottom of the 4th, though, here at Rutgers Camden. It's been a really great game so far.
It has
though.
been.
I mean, it's been fun.
Student section, I mean, the boys are stoked right now.
Boys are stoked. 4 hits total on the day. Oh, my goodness. That ball just came fly. I don't know if you could see it, but that was, oh, goodness.
Like flash before your eyes.
After, like, a month or so of action, I, was saying, all right, I'm not scared anymore, but now, I'm kind of scared I'm going to get hit.
Yeah.
I don't think Emilio Iannacone would let that happen to me, though.
And now in the 5th inning, LaSalle with a 10 spot on Roman, 10-1 the score.
That's a big lead for the Explorers. The Hawks will see them in just a month's time.
Seeing Roman Monday.
Yeah, that is true. And speaking of the upcoming schedule here on WSJP, we will have baseball out of league game, though, against Holy Ghost Prep at Holy Ghost Prep, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Sam Salomon, on the call for that one. Then on Friday, lacrosse versus Bonner. So we have some familiarity here if you're watching this broadcast, 4 p.m. Eastern time at the Croc. Then on Saturday, another out-of-league game for baseball at the Hill School, 12 p.m. Myself, Sam Salamone on the call. I forgot to mention, along with Drew Burchell for Friday. Then on Monday, Dom Schulk, Sam Salamone on for the game against Roman Catholic at LaSalle U, 4 p.m. as well. Emilio Iannicone, he is 2 for 2 today with a double and a single. Led off the prep in the first inning with a double, and he will take this one low, and the pitch goes behind Romano. It's 1-0.
And Ryan, you talked about Ghosts being an out-of-league game next year. Won't
Yeah,
be.
I was talking to Cole today, Cole Kuno, saying it feels weird calling Ghosts an out-of-league game, knowing that they're going to be in the league next year.
Once we hit July 1st,
Yep.
they will be in the PCL.
Iannicone chops that one to short. It's going to be a tough play at first, but Iannicone will get in there with an infield single.
Great start for the Hawks. But yeah, Ghost, the news, of course, coming at the end of September last year, and they'll be a good addition for soccer, for baseball.
For everything, really.
Yeah, very competitive team. I mean, they made states in basketball this year. They're a competitive school.
I know it's not a PCL sport, but they also won the Flyers Cup for hockey.
Yeah, I mean, anyone listening, maybe we need to bring back PCL hockey.
Yeah.
Love to see
Mark Jameson, hockey player.
Love
as well.
to see it.
So Iannicone, after not getting a hit against the Haverford School, is now 3 for 3 today against Bonner as he leads the Hawks off. Pat Veza now up for the prep. He's 0 for 2 today. Coleman making him wait as Veza swings through that one for a strike. That was a very hittable pitch, but just couldn't get the timing.
Hard cut.
Very solid cut to start. Coleman really taking his time at the mound. Making sure Kyle Allman, who's now the complimentary runner, does not steal, but he's doing it anyway. Veza swings through that one as the ball will go into center field. Allman steals. That's his second stolen base of the game.
Trading a strike for a base. You'll take that all day.
Last year we saw George Van Deen lead the PCL with stolen bases. Maybe Kyle Allman can do that this year.
You'd love to see it.
Umpires reaffirming to the Hawks coaches that it is an 0-2 count. Kyle Allman now officially in scoring position for St. Joe's Prep. Chris Graasso on deck for the Hawks. Coleman looking back, Allman at second. Veza takes that one high and inside, 1-2.
Good eye there by Veza trying to get himself back in the count here.
Patty Veza, one of the most consistent Hawks hitters last season. We saw him on base a lot. We'll see if he can get on for the first time today. It's going to be tough with a 1-2 count. Delivered, and this one will be hit into left center field. Play is going to be made for the out. Allman holds it at second. Lockhart made the catch. 1 out in the inning.
Still a runner in scoring position for the man of the hour, Chris Graasso.
Chris Graasso, 0 for 1 in today's game, was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. So he was on base for the first time this year, but we'll see if he can record his first hit of the year. And if he's able to, that could possibly drive in Kyle Allman. Dominating on the mound, and he fouls that one back.
And very odd foul ball there.
Yeah, very odd. We saw that a couple times today where it bounces foul, then fair. It's going all over the place today. It's all right, though. Graasso, 0 for 4 this season in at-bats. Coleman taking his time at the mound as Graasso swings through that one. It's now 0-2.
Quick 0-2 here on Graasso.
Chris trying to get on base here. He's taking some good cuts in his at-bats, but we'll see if he's able to get himself on the bag. Deep in the batter's box is the Miami man as Romano calls time and will go to the mound. It's very hard to play two-way, though, Sorgi. I mean, Graasso dominating on the mound. Then you got to focus on hitting as well. Oh, 2 to Graasso. Getting some encouragement from the bench and the crowd.
Pins and needles.
Pins and needles, no doubt about it. Almond taking a very big lead at second, maybe faking a bit of a steal, playing with Coleman a little bit. 0-2, that one in the dirt, 1-2. Almond stealing third, and he is going to be out. The coach is not really sure why he stole third there.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision.
I think he thought that it went behind the plate, or went behind the catcher Romano, but Almond out on a steal attempt. First time out this season on a steal attempt. And now Graasso, with nobody on, now has to adjust to the 1-2 count with it. As Graasso will swing through that one and miss. Ball was in the dirt. Romano will get it to first, but off the bag was Dorita. Graasso did strike out, but he gets on base.
I mean, Bonner was treating that like they treated it like the third out had already happened. They were too relaxed about it, and that's what happens when you catch a team lacking. I mean, talking to some of the Preps players before the game, they were saying, you know, they can't catch us lacking. They can't catch us lacking. It's something that Bonner does really well. But again, the Prep playing Bonner's game and beating them at it right now. Very
close play to first. Graasso called safe, though, as he is now on for Will Ward. Still has not gotten the first pitch to the plate. Ward takes that one high, ball one. Ward 0 for 2 in today's game. Two outs in the inning, 1-0. It's been a crazy turn of events. You saw Almond get out there at second, and now Graasso on after the strikeout. 1-0 to Ward. Takes that one on the outside once again, 2-0. High throw to Coleman. That could have been disastrous for Bonner.
very much so.
Everyone's on their feet and really at the fence for the Prep student section. 2-0 Ward takes that one for a strike. He has to step out of the box momentarily. It didn't really seem like he liked that call.
Ward here just taking a moment to reset. Gets back in the box pretty quickly, though.
Throw back to first again. Graasso much more safe getting back to first. 2-1 though to Will Ward. Going to be upcoming in just a moment. Ward typically swings for a lot of power for St. Joe's Prep, and we know how fast Graasso can be around the bases. 2-1 Ward hits that one into center field. Lockhart sees it and makes the play for the third out of the inning. The Prep, they get a couple runners on, but they cannot do anything with them. We now go to the top of the fifth. We're in the final stretch on WSJP. We'll be back in just a few moments.
back here for the 5th inning of action. Gonna start 1-0 the count.
Thank you, Sorgi, for that. I had to take care of something real quick here on the issue, technical difficulty, but make sure the broadcast stays smooth. But Sorgi taking over. 1-0 from Graasso. He drops that one in there, gets right back into the swing of things.
And Ryan, one thing is I'm looking around the atmosphere. You gotta love being on a college campus because as we look around, we see throughout. I mean, got kids on scooters, kids running on the track next door. Very active, lively campus here in Camden.
Oh, 1-2 now for Chris Graasso. Sharply hit to Alex Orespi at second base, and he cleanly makes the play at first for the out.
One thing I will say, not as active as Penn. I mean, you're going around Penn, you're right
That's
next
fair.
to Center City, 3rd Street Station nearby. I mean, that's the, very hustling, bustling area of the city constantly. Friday night games at Penn Park, obviously, in the fall, and we'll get Tuesday night, right? Lacrosse?
Tuesday night, yeah. So the prep play Garnet Valley on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Those views are always great.
Skyline shots.
Yep. Graasso, that one on the outside, 1-0. St. Joe's Prep Lacrosse, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, big win against Archbishop Wood and getting back into the swing of things after a tough loss to the Gilman School.
I love the good.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good win yesterday.
Yeah.
Love to see it. 1-0 from Graasso. That one's in there for a strike. Brown does not like that one, who is 0 for 2 today.
I love to count the amount of broadcasts we've done at Penn this year.
That's a good.
It's been a lot. I mean, that
we
is
had
the home field of the prep.
Soccer at Penn and hockey, lacrosse this year. Graasso drops another one in there, 1-2.
3 football games, I think, this year or more.
Oh,
St. Francis Good Counsel.
yeah,
LaSalle.
3. Yeah, I guess that's going to be a stat to bring up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Graasso, number 9.
Just pure dominance. No other way to put it.
9 strikeouts today for Chris Graasso.
Just like that, 2 outs.
Friel is now up. Has a base hit today. He's 1 for 2. Love to see it from Chris Graasso in his 5th inning of work. And now one of the best hitters for the Friars is now up as Graasso delivers another strike.
That strike-to-ball ratio has to be pretty good today, to say the least.
Friel fouls that one to third as it is now a quick 0-2, and I feel like you can feel that anticipation.
No doubt.
0-2, Graasso to send Bonner to the field again. And he will. Chris Graasso, double digits, 10 strikeouts.
If there's a way to start off PCL play, it's a 10 strikeout day, Ryan.
My goodness, Chris Graasso has been absolutely dominant. There is no other way to put it on the mound. Ever since that first run given up, it looks like he hasn't looked back at all.
No doubt about it, Ryan. And headed to the bottom of the 5th now, moving quickly. First couple innings were slow, but Chris Graasso has picked up the speed of this one.
Definitely. It's definite there for Chris Graasso. He played really well. We'll see if he can possibly go into the 6th inning and maybe even finish. I mean, it seems like he's done well enough. It obviously depends on how many pitches he's at. I think that's definitely something you have to take into consideration as well.
No doubt.
So back out for the Friars. It will be Coleman. I don't know if you want to be too greedy, Sorgi, but I also feel like at the same time the Hawks would definitely want a few more insurance runs just in case Graasso, has to take a seat.
The best way to protect your lead is to expand it.
Very wise words.
It's a Jay Sorgiism.
I love it. I'd love to hear more Mr. Sorgi quotes. But Jack Keenum will lead off for St. Joe's Prep today.
By the way, LaSalle now a 12 spot on Roman.
Wow. I mean, that is just pure dominance from the Explorers today.
What a way to bounce back after that Malvern loss.
Yeah, a tough loss to Malvern. Both the Hawks and LaSalle having tough losses on Saturday, but seems like if all goes well for the Prep, both teams bouncing back.
Prep didn't give up 16 runs, though.
That is true. Knock on wood, though, for the Prep. I don't want to be blamed for a loss. But Jack Keenan up for St. Joe's Prep. He's having an official recorded plate appearance at bat as he had 2 walks. And Coleman puts that one a bit inside for a strike. Keenan doesn't really like that one. Keenan gets hit by Coleman. And once again, Jack Keenan will go to first base. 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Prep student section liking it.
Man, I mean, Jack Keenan, he's just a magnet for first base today.
No doubt about it.
Danny Matthews now up. 0 for 2 today, 0 for 1 today with a walk. As he has Keenan off first base for the 3rd time today. That one right down the plate, and it will drop for a base hit. 2 runners now on with no outs. Alex Orespi steps up to the plate with a runner in scoring position.
Big opportunity here for Orespi.
Big opportunity indeed. Danny Matthews' first hit of the season. Alex Orespi 1 for 2 today with an RBI. Big at-bat once again coming for Alex Orespi. Just getting his first varsity start today. A lot of first varsity starts. Will Lesovitz, Alex Orespi.
2 upperclassmen. Crazy to think that Orespi's an upperclassman. I mean,
Yeah.
he's on the broadcasting team.
Yeah, helps out WSJP. Love to see it. And Coleman steps off the mound. Keenan slides back into second.
Talk about two-way players. How about a player-broadcaster duo?
That is, I mean, that's Cole Kuhn.
Yeah, not many guys do it, but I mean, Cole tracking the pitches for the Prep
Wow.
today. Wow,
Look at him go.
right after a podcast this morning, a very eventful
Yeah,
one
it
at
is.
that. I mean, everyone needs to make sure
Go,
they go back and look.
Yeah, go listen to the CR7 podcast this morning. End of the show, I'll give you a little hint. End of the show is, I think, the crowd's favorite part. But Orespi is going to take the first pitch here. He's going to show bunt, and he will get it into fair territory. Dorita cannot make the play at first, as Keenan will get into score. Matthews to third. Alex Orespi on off an error. And St. Joe's Prep have taken a 4-1 lead.
More RBIs there for the junior.
Wow.
Stacking them on.
Yeah, Alex Orespi on off an error. And that is 2 RBIs on the day for Alex Orespi. As there's some...
There's something
never
going on
mind.
Keenan having to come back out.
I think Orespi is... I think they're saying he's out.
Wow.
I think they're saying there was interference, if I'm not mistaken, Sorgi.
It's an interesting call.
Well, let's see. There's some debate on the field, but I think they're going to say he's out. There's now some debate from Coach Muth and the infield umpire about the call. I'm not sure. I think they tried to say it was interference in the base path from Orespi. And, yeah, I can hear the infield umpire saying that he's out. And I think Coach Muth can argue, and now they're going to talk about it. From this angle, it not to be a homer, but from this angle, it looked clean.
Yeah, it did to me too. I'd agree.
So now some debate. Seems like the call has been made. I'm not sure if they're going to really change the call, so we'll see. And I don't know what the call is now. There's a lot going on here. So Orespi is out. Interference at third base. Or first base, I apologize. So interference at first, goodness gracious. 2 outs now.
A lot going on.
Or 1 out, I apologize, in the inning. Will Lesovitz up for the Prep. Lesovitz 1 for 1 today with a walk.
Big opportunity here for Lessie.
We thought the Prep could have gotten a three-run lead, but now Will Lesovitz will have to try and do that as Alex Oresby called out for interference at first base. Unfortunate turn of events for St. Joseph's Prep. Coleman trying to take advantage as he drops the first pitch in there for a strike.
Love to see Lesovitz hit one to the gap here.
We'll see if he can do so.
Don't want to be greedy, but getting two home would be great.
A long fly ball, it's all you really need.
Exactly.
Get Keenan in possibly on a tag. Coleman making less of its way. Infield in, though, for the Friars. Second pitch to Lesovitz. Takes that one low. Romano, another great stop at the plate, 1-1.
With the infield in, I mean, if they want to get a runner in, just a bloop single.
Yeah.
Get a man in.
All you really need. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. 1-1 to Lesovitz. Coleman fires. And Lesovitz fouls that one back. Look at Van Deen, man forward with others, getting the ball to the umpire.
Very soft cut there from Lesovitz.
I mean, you just said it. All we need is a bloop single.
Yeah.
All he needs is a bloop
I
single.
mean, even when you look at the way he's like practicing swinging, it's a very soft swing.
Well, he had a very hard hit ball to the opposite right field earlier in this game. We'll see if he can maybe do that again. That would be very much needed for the Hawks. The 1-2 to Lesovitz. That one's in there down the plate. Strike 3. Lesovitz goes down on strikes. George Van Deen now up. Going to have to be the man to drive the run in.
Coach Prince Orn talking to the lacrosse team. Right by the student section here.
Yeah. I mean, now it's kind of turned into the everybody just up against the fence. I think the move would just be to stand on the bleachers now to see everything. I mean, a lot of these guys are tall.
They are.
There's a reason they play and I don't. There's a reason I just talk about them.
You do a good job talking about them, though.
Thank you. Van Deen takes the first pitch on the outside as Romano had to get out of his stance. 1-0 to George. Van Deen 0 for 2 today. As Iannacone awaits his possible at-bat if Van Deen can get on. Coleman delivers as Van Deen hits one into left field as that will fall for a base hit. Keenan in safely. The throw in gets to Romano at the plate. St. Joe's Prep have now taken a 4-1 lead.
There you go. St. Joe's Prep. Another run on the board. Men on the corners. 2 out here.
Iannacone now has runners on the corners as Sorgi just articulated.
Articulated, wow.
I'm using big words today.
You are.
I'm getting smarter. That's why I'm a junior. I got to be smarter now. Iannacone 3 for 3 today with 2 base hits, one of them being an infield single, also a double. We'll see if he can possibly drive in 1 run or maybe more. We know how fast George Van Deen is. Expect a steal. And, yep, there he goes. Pitches a ball as Van Deen will easily get into second.
So big second and third here for the Hawks.
3rd stolen base overall for St. Joe's Prep. Kyle Alman with 2 stolen bases. George Van Deen with 1. One to Iannacone. As he cuts through that one. Play at first, not gonna have a throw, even attempted. Danny Matthews scores 5-1.
5-1 for the Hawks. Yeah, first and second. Had to switch from the computer to the phone here on the scoreboard.
Died?
5%.
Oh.
So we're just shutting it down. But we've become experts at using the phone scoreboard over time.
That is true. That is true. We have we used it a lot during basketball
Say
season.
Moscow Classic. I remember us using that.
I think, did we do that?
Yeah, we did.
I don't even remember. That was a long time ago.
I remember doing the producing for Malvern Gonzaga.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was a fun game.
One of the few WSJP games that we've done that didn't even include a PCL team at all. We've done like the
That's
PCL
true.
championships before. Like we've done like non-prep events,
That's
but
true.
didn't include any PCL athletes between Gonzaga coming from DC, the Preps Brother School, and Malvern Prep led by Logan Schwastik, who's been getting some love. A Waldron guy.
Yeah, Waldron Mercy Academy grad. Unfortunately, we have an Angelo grad, Cole Kuhn. Well, not unfortunately, it's a good school, but for my sake, I have to say that. Veza calls time at the plate. 0-1 to him as he fouled that first pitch back.
2 big feeder schools to the Prep.
Yeah. Any Waldron Mercy Academy grads want to join WSJP? You'll get on the air first game.
I actually believe that.
0-1 to Veza, pitch in the dirt. Romano, once again, another beautiful stop at the plate.
There's a guy who loves his grade school. It's Ryan Sullivan.
Waldron Mercy Academy. In my opinion, the best grade school out there.
Shout out to all the people watching in Delco, Notre Dame, Dolores, and Swarthmore.
I'm just giving everybody shout outs.
We gotta give grade
That's
school
fair.
shout outs.
That's fair. You gotta get your love too in.
A broadcasting powerhouse between me and President of Carroll Sports Media, Nick Master-Polito.
That's very true. Steal over to third. Van Deen in there. Oh, man, he almost got off the bag.
So now 2 guys in scoring position.
Kyle Allman, third stolen base of the day as he went on for Emilio Iannicone as a complimentary runner. So Van Deen and Allman, the guys who have just been stealing bases like it's nobody's business, each get a stolen base. 4 on the day for St. Joe's Prep. I'm sorry, 5 on the day.
5, wow. Even better.
Even better. 2-1 to Veza as time will be called at the mound. So now both runners in scoring position for St. Joe's Prep. Veza, as I mentioned, once again trying to drive these runners in. Would be a great thing if he did. 3-1 now.
Great opportunity for the Hawks. 2 guys in scoring position, 3 balls. I mean, 2 outs obviously lingering over, but still a great opportunity to get a 2-out hit.
Bases loaded would be key.
Graasso up next.
Yep, Chris Graasso standing on deck for St. Joseph's Prep. Tension here at Rutgers Camden. 3-1. Ball 4, too high. Take your base, Patty Veza, with Chris Graasso coming to the plate. 2 outs, bases loaded.
Graasso with how many strikeouts on the day now? 10?
Yes, 10.
And on the other end, see if he can knock in a run.
Graasso 0 for 2 today as he had that strikeout, but he reached first base as the pitch was in the dirt, and he also was hit by a pitch earlier today. So he's been on base twice, but has not been able to record a hit. First pitch, takes that one on the outside. Beautiful eye from the Miami commit. Graasso taking his time to step back into the batter's box.
High pressure moment.
High pressure moment, no doubt about it. This could potentially just break open this game a lot more than it already has been. The Prep have been batting for feels like a long time now. 1-0 to Graasso. Pitch a bit inside, but it's called for a strike. 1-1. Graasso doesn't seem to like the call, but he's telling the bench, calm down. I got this. Anticipation building for the outcome of this at-bat. Graasso trying to make it a hit, and he hits it to short. Fielded cleanly. It's going to be a tough play at first, but it's going to be made for the out. The Hawks cannot knock in anybody when it was bases loaded, but they have now made this a 5-1 ball game at Rutgers Camden. Short break here on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Back here on WSJP. 6 innings of action now coming to you as Chris Graasso is back out there for his 6th inning of work. His first pitch is a ball. Gavin Dorita up for the Friars. He's 1 for 2 today with a single. One of the 2 guys for Bonner who has not struck out to Chris Graasso today.
That's an accomplishment.
That seems to be, as he will hit this one down the first base line. Foul. Lucky there for Will Ward. That one would have been a tough play to make.
Ryan, you know what's killing us right now is the fact that as great as the stand is, it's keeping us out of the sun, which is actually out.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't want the sun in my eyes when I'm broadcasting.
I just want the warmth.
That is fair. I mean, I kind of feel it. Like, the wind is not as bad as it was.
It's not as bad as it was now.
Like, I remember against Haverford, the wind, not the wind, the sun was kind of in my eyes.
Against Devon, the wind was last year.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started. We would just we could just like end the broadcast and just talk about that. That's how cold it was.
That Parkland football game.
Oh goodness gracious!
We've had some rough days.
2-1 from Graasso. Last pitch was on the outside, but this one is in there, as it's now 2-2. You know what? But we're WSJP. We always get it done.
We do.
Through all the bad.
Through the 5 broadcasts at Parkland.
We've always got it. We always get it done. 2-2. That one fouled down the third base line. Bit late on the swing was Dorita, but he stays alive. It's 2-2. If you are Bonner, though, I feel like this inning you would like to get. Not that Graasso hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. He definitely has. But now I feel like this inning you want to try and get his pitch count up.
Yeah, you got to get it up because, I mean, with the prep, having a reliever, you assume coming in next inning, you don't want to see Graasso go 7 here.
Yeah. That one almost hit coaches and I think, I believe that. I can't see who's warming up at the catcher spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure who the backup catcher is there.
But it's 2-2 for Graasso with Dorita at the plate as this one is hit high in the air. It's going to be tough with the sun now to make the play. And what a catch by Patty Vezza. He came flying in from right field, diving for the first out.
Absolutely incredible play by Vezza there.
Wow. Jack Coleman now up for the Friars.
I want to give a shout out to all the people who make this possible, Ryan. We gave a shout out to Rutgers Camden earlier, but I saw Mr. Devaney from Bonner in the building, Mr. G, of course, from the prep.
Yeah.
Shout out to the athletic directors. Found a way to get this game moved last second.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you got to call up people like we, get out there, but got to give him credit where credit is due. Graasso with a nasty pitch as it's 0-1. Second one in there again, strike 2. Coleman 0 for 2 today. Has struck out twice. Chris Graasso. Let's get his second out of the inning. And he will. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Chris Graasso. That's 11.
Graasso absolutely dominant today.
Owen Lockhart now up. 0 for 1 today. Also walked in this game. He now comes up with 2 outs in the inning. First pitch to him, and that will be knocked into right field. Base hit. Vezza going to try and make the play at first, but Lockhart gets in there safely. We saw that against Haverford where Vezza missiled it into Will Ward. He was able to get an out from right field.
Love the effort.
But Lockhart in with a base hit. That's their 4th hit of the day. That being the Friars. As Cole Romano will now step up. He is 1 for 2 today, also has a single. Now 1 on with 2 outs.
Another train going by.
Feels like that's been a common theme.
It has been.
First pitch from Romano, beautiful. Or to Romano, I should have said. Beautiful, though, from Chris Graasso, nonetheless.
You a big train guy, Ryan?
I mean, I take the subway almost every day home. But I've never really, taken, the SEPTA, train that, is out in the open.
Gonna have
you know
to
what I
take
mean?
one with me one day. Back to Ridley.
I guess I will, yeah.
Shout out to SEPTA Regional
I guess,
Rail.
the subway and that sort of train, not the same thing.
Yeah.
0-1, pitch inside the Romano, takes a deep breath. That one was quick coming towards him.
Shout out SEPTA, getting us places.
That is very fair. I don't know how to get to school every day. I guess I'd be walking. Or maybe I'd just sleep at the prep.
Walk,
I don't know.
walk from South Philly to 17th and Girard.
Gosh. 1-1. Oh, my goodness. What another beautiful pitch. I don't know how many more ways I can say beautiful. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible there from Graasso.
I remember. I don't know if
Glorious. That's,
Glorious,
that's a
there
good
you
one.
I don't know if you know this, but I remember last year, day of the freshman retreat, Mr. Cavacos, former principal, ran all the way to South Philly and back during the day.
Graasso hits Romano there as there are now 2 on. Coach Muth comes out momentarily. I'm not sure if he's going to call in any help. He will not. So Romano gets on with a hit by pitch. That'll bring up Sean Erickson.
For Mr. Cavacos to run to South Philly and back.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
September afternoon.
That's dedication.
It is.
That's dedication, and that's heart.
I
I
think
don't
he
have
like
that.
did it early morning, like before we got up. Like we had like a 7 a.m. wake up, and he ran before we got up.
I don't have that sort of heart, but Mr. Cavacos definitely does. Mr. Cavacos, a big attendee of St. Joe's Prep hockey as well.
Yeah, prep legend.
First pitch low. Erickson holds his swing. 1-0. Prep legend indeed.
Both him and our principal now, Mr. McCall.
Mr.
Great
McCall.
job.
Oh yeah, they both. Well, Mr. McCall currently doing a great job.
Yeah.
Mr. Cavacos did a great job. Still doing a great job. Still working in mission ministry. Also, some would say the most legendary math teacher at St. Joe's Prep. I don't know if that's the case.
There's a
That's
lot of
what
competition.
but that's what I hear. That's what I hear. 1-0 from Graasso. Pitch on the outside. 2-0 now.
I mean, Mr. Cam is there too.
Oh, Mr. Cam is up there. Yeah, I get you. You got to put him up there.
I've had Mr. Kilpatrick and Mr. Tarducci,
Oh, Mr.
two great
Kilpatrick was a good
teachers.
teacher as well. Goodness, I don't know. I mean, this is tough. Maybe we'll have to do like a ranking on WSJP on Instagram.
Mr. Falcone in the building today.
Goodness gracious, I don't know who you got to. I mean, just all tie them at one. Another pitch. That one drops in there this time. Another strike for Chris Graasso. 2-1 now.
I mean, we were talking to the English department earlier. Mr. Coyle, Dr. Rapertis, Mr. Wheel, like the list goes on and
The
on.
list goes on and on. Is there a bad teacher at St. Joe's Prep? I don't think
I
so.
don't think so either.
You only get greatness at St. Joe's Prep.
That's what makes the kids out there on the field so sharp.
Yep. 3-1 now.
And what makes your English vocabulary so sharp.
That is very true. That is very, very true, Sorgi.
One day you're going to have me with my my Unit 5 vocab list from Mr. Shields at a game.
We'll be reviewing at the game. We'll put you on the field. We'll put you at third base maybe or shortstop. 3-1. Erickson fouls that one off. Full count.
That's a scary idea, putting me out on the field.
I think
I think that's a E10 day for me.
You don't think you could make a couple plays out there?
Yeah, no, 10 errors.
All right, fair enough.
Haven't touched a former baseball or formal, not former.
Maybe like on senior day next year, I should get out there at like right field.
I think we need you out there for football on senior day.
No, thank you. That's okay. My days are over.
Line you up against one of LaSalle's best TVs.
Full count, Chris Graasso, mowing him down. That ends the inning. Chris Graasso now gets the Prep to the bottom of the sixth. We'll see if he finishes the game. Mirtu Rapertis warming up, though, for the Hawks in the pen, so he's, like, fully warming up this time. He's, like, pitching, so I think he might come in to close the game. But we will see. Chris Graasso, if that is his final pitch of the game, 12 strikeouts and 6 innings of work, only 1 run given up, and that run was off an error.
Beyond impressive, Ryan, no doubt about it.
St. Joe's Prep back at it. Will Ward will lead off for St. Joe's Prep. He is 0 for 2 today, but
I wonder if I see a bus pulling up. I'm not sure if that's Bonner's. I remember they had for basketball like not a like kind of something like it kind of looked like a party bus. It was like a mini charter bus. It was very nice.
that's cool.
I got there at the same time as Coach Cassidy and the guys for State's game,
Gotcha.
and I was very impressed by the Bonner buses.
And the Bonner buses. That's a tongue twister.
It is. You know,
Third-
St. Joe's Prep always with great buses, though. I mean, for baseball, guys driving themselves to the game, always a great time in the car with Cole Kuhn.
Yeah.
Last year with Coach Stins, and now
Yeah, now this year with the Duke, Mr. Duke.
got the Duke sticker on the car.
Yeah, you know, I had to make fun of him for that one. Nah, it's all right. Will Ward, though, leading off for St. Joe's Prep. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch to Ward, takes that one on the outside, 1-0. Coleman still out there. Give him credit where credit is due.
No doubt.
Battling through it as this is a 5-1 ball game. Ward takes that one for a strike. Thought about getting the bat off his shoulder. One and one to the Gwinnett Mercy commit as he swings through it. 1-2.
A lot of these guys from the Prep staying home for college.
I mean, yeah, the Philly's a great place, and programs are giving them a shot. They appreciate it. Here's the 1-2. Ward takes that one for a strike, and it sends him down. He does not like the call at all. It took him a minute to get back, or to get out of the batter's box, but Ward goes down on strikes for the first time today. And that will bring up Jack Keenan, who has had a interesting day. 2 walks, a hit by pitch most recently, and now he comes up in the bottom of the 6th.
Will this be his first at bat?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He swings through the first one. Beautiful curve on the pitch from Coleman. 0-1.
Brian, I mean, looking at our student section, I'm very intrigued to see how well they enjoyed this and what they're going to be going to soon. You got to hope that they're going to be coming out to some of the games at FDR, some of the games here throughout PCL play.
FDR, just, you know, take the bridge down, and you're right there. 1-1 to Keenan. It's that one to third. Nice play made by Brown at third, and he makes the play over to first for the second out of the inning. So now Jack Keenan 0 for 1 today, but on 3 times, so you gotta give him credit where credit is due. Danny Matthews now up, as he is 1 for 2 today with a base hit, also walked. Matthews, we brought it up a couple of times how he didn't hit in his first game against Haverford. He just pitched and he went 6 innings, 6 scoreless that being. He takes the first pitch low, ball 1.
Really impressive for Matthews that day.
Yeah, a guy that, you know, we haven't really seen pitch. Everybody, let's talk about Chris, who's obviously had an incredible day. 12 strikeouts, and Miritu was warming up in the bullpen, and Cole Kuhn as well. But Danny Matthews put on a great performance as he fouls this one into the field next to us. Great community at Rutgers Camden. You got people, you know, running on the track on the next field. I think they're doing some, I don't know. I thought they were doing football one-on-ones. Never mind. Alex Orespi warming up as he is on deck, I apologize, as Matthews fouls that one to the St. Joe's Prep dugout. 1-2 now.
Nice turf field next to us.
Yeah, it's actually really great here at Rutgers. I mean, look at the field. You can see it on the broadcast. I mean, just look how great this is. 1-2 to Matthews. Takes it on the outside. 2-2.
Got another soccer field across the street. Softball over there as well. And then, you know, soccer next door to us.
We drove by the softball field. I thought that's where we were playing. It actually it looked like a really nice field.
It was. It was.
2-2. In there. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Danny Matthews not liking it at all. But that will send the Prep down for the inning as we go to the top of the 7th. One more for St. Joe's Prep. And it looks like the Hawks, they will call upon Miritu Rapertis. And we'll talk about him and get back to the action in a few moments. Miritu Rupertus on to close the game for St. Joe's Prep. Brian Rawlings, his first at-bat today, as 2 delivers a strike.
Great start there for Rupertus, the student section, and family's fired up. First time for him on the mound in quite a while.
Quite a while indeed. The 0-1. Fouled off 0-2, and we talked about how first one in quite a while. He did pitch a couple times last year. He pitched against Father Judge in a game, also pitched in the playoffs against Archbishop Wood. He was injured for most of last season, but in his sophomore campaign had a 1.00 ERA as he now looks to close things off here at Rucker Camden, and he will start with a strikeout.
What a start for Rupertus. And the boys are fired up, Ryan.
Miritu Rupertus. The Bonnies commit St. Bonaventure.
Go Bonnies.
Go Bonnies. Shout out Mr. Burns. We're all future Bonnies.
We say
I don't care if you are graduated or not. We're all future Bonnies. First pitch on the outside from Miritu, 1-0.
If you're Rupertus, you don't want to get too confident. You want to stay locked in here. Stay calm.
Yeah, you don't want to get too hype. Want to play smart. 1-0. In there for a strike.
That was a rocket.
Right down the middle.
Right down Broad Street, I'd have it say.
Broad Street. Right down Delaware Avenue, which is where we're at right now. 1-1 from 2. That one a bit high and on the inside, 2-1.
I'm sure we'll be hearing you use that Broad Street term when we play at FDR.
Definitely, yeah. You're never going to hear the end of it. You're going to have to mute me at some points just so you don't have to hear it. 2-1 from 2. Another tongue twister. And right down the plate again, 2-2. He is delivering heat. Miritu Rupertus trying to get his second out of the inning, possibly his second strikeout. That one fouled back a bit late as Dr. Rupertus almost got hit with that ball. He didn't even flinch.
Dr. Rupertus got the phone out filming.
Maybe a post-game interview with him on why he didn't flinch. That was good. He did not. Like, that ball was coming right toward him. I would have jumped back. 2-2. Miritu Rupertus. 2 strikeouts.
What a 1-2 to start here. And now the Prep 1 out away, Ryan.
1 out away as Will Lesovitz tells the outfield Jack Brown, the leadoff man for the Friars, now up. Coach Mute delivering signals to the infield and possibly outfield. I don't know where he was delivering them to. But Brown 0 for 3 today. Miritu Rupertus. First pitch. Outside ball 1.
And a win here for the Prep would put them tied for first in the PCL.
That would?
Very early in the season.
Only one game?
But you'll take it. It always feels good after that first day to see yourself at the top of the standings.
1-0. 2-0 now as the pitch was a bit high. Miritu waving off Iannacone a few times. Here's the 2-0. That one in the dirt did not hit Brown as it's now 3-0.
And now will Brown swing?
That's the great question. And we'll see what Miritu delivers.
I'm seeing if there's a signal or anything coming from Bonner's coaches here.
You got it. That's good, Sorgi. That's actually good. That's looking for the signals.
I mean, I won't be able to tell what they're saying, obviously.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's the 3-0. Count in the favor of Brown by a lot. As that one will hit him right in the side. He'll get on with a hit-by pitch. Miritu just kind of waving it off. Just not the pitch he wanted, but it will get Brown on.
You know what we need to do, Ryan? I know there's like an app where you can like put in what the like coaches said and like figure out like decode the signals. Real? Yeah.
There's no way that's real.
It is.
But like, how can you tell?
You like decode like because it'll essentially you put in here's what the coach did and then what was the result.
Well, what if it means like not what it actually
well, it tests it time and time again after every pitch.
I was gonna say there's no way you can test it like you just scan them. I was gonna say there's
no way. Once it goes for a couple innings, it figures it out
and
it tells you what means what.
Okay, that makes more sense.
We need that so we know we can be Tony Romo, knowing what's coming
before
it happens.
I was gonna say there's no way that's real. Brown is now on first base. Miritu not even moving as Friel stepped out of the batter's box for a quick moment. 2 delivers. In there for a strike.
I wasn't sure what the call was going to be there, but it goes the way of the Hawks.
0-1 from Miritu Rapertis. Yeah, that was a close call. Friel 1 for 3 today with a base hit. Here's the 0-1. That one on the outside, 1-1. That was close to where the last pitch was, but the umpire does not give it to Miritu Rapertis.
50-50 spot.
2 waving off Iannacone twice, likes the third pitch. As he fires. As this one will be hit into shallow center field. Van Deen running in on it. Watch out, PCL. St. Joe's Prep is here.
The Hawks 1-0. They beat Bonner-Prendie to start off the PCL season. And, I mean, not much time off. Less than 24 hours away from playing Holy Ghost Prep, but for sure going to be a night to celebrate for the Hawks of 17th and Girard.
No doubt about it. 5-1 victory for St. Joe's Prep. Chris Graasso gets the win with 12 strikeouts on the day. Miritu Rapertis comes in to close as he pitches 1 inning, 1 strikeout, delivered a hit by pitch, but that does not matter as St. Joe's Prep get their first PCL win. They open the PCL season with a win. That was a great game from the Hawks.
No doubt about it.
St. Joe's Prep, they get the win here at Rutgers Camden, 5-1 over Bonner-Prendie. We will be back tomorrow, baseball at Holy Ghost Prep, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Sam Salomon, on the call. From myself, Ryan Sullivan, my color analyst, Anthony Sorgi. Thank you to our cameraman, Mark Jameson. Shout out Cole Kuhn and the CRVZ for getting us here. As that will do it from Rutgers Camden. We say thank you, have a good night, and go Prep.